Hi. As promised, we're going to have some Mayhem action here. One of the best ships in the game as far as I'm concerned. Most people like the Farragut better. Farragut's better on paper and in real life and in real game. Benson's better, but the Farragut and the Benson are probably a little OP, especially if you get a 15-point captain, and you get those 5 points into concealment. You're going to knock the concealment down to I believe it's 5.8 as it sits now. You can tell that this captain is fairly new, and I'm grinding him up using the Sims and the Atlanta and the Indianapolis, and so that makes it pretty quick to grind up. And the reason they sell these ships is so that you can get the most out of your game, your captains, your credits, and you shouldn't just stick the same captain in there, even though they're not good. In the Atlanta, the Fletcher captain would be my Fletcher captain would be the best bet, just due to he's got the concealment perk, and that changes the Atlanta drastically. It takes it down to 9.7 detectability, and you got 13 with 13k gun range with the advanced fire training, because the guns are smaller than 139 millimeter. And once you do that, you think of the Atlanta as a really big destroyer, and most people know this. A really big destroyer that destroys. Well, looky there. Just for the gamers that play World of Warships, the Atlanta has never had a surveillance radar. In this latest patch, they have given me the OP Atlanta a surveillance radar. Yes, thank you. I will take that. So not only is it an aircraft eater, a destroyer of pilots, it can now light destroyers in smoke. Yes, thank you. More? Can I have some more? Oh man, there's going to be a lot of angry destroyer captains, and it's unfortunate that I'm just now seeing this, but I am. And with this patch, it has taken all of the normal. I'm sorry, y'all have to watch me prepare my ships and my consumables, but the original reason that I wanted you to see the Atlanta with my Fletcher captain on it was the detectability range by sea is down to 9.4. Gun range is at 13. When you fire your guns in open sea, your detection range balloons. I'm not exactly sure what it balloons out to, but it balloons out to past 13k. But once your balloon goes away, you're back down to 9.4. And what that allows you to do is to sneak up on destroyers at 9.4k. An Atlanta 90% of the time is going to destroy a destroyer. It's going to win multiple destroyers. So, you know, my ideal scenario is becoming visible or popping into the view of a destroyer at 9K or less. And the more destroyers, the better. 4, 5, yes. Yes, please, bring them on. It's absolute devastation to a destroyer. So, they buffed a premium ship. That usually goes into the I'm going to swing a nerf bat forums right away. I'd like to see the forums. But no, I was just joking. I would not like to see the forums at all. I am not a forum reader for that very reason. But with this captain, he's a new captain. As soon as he gets the 15th point, and he comes down to 5.8 or 6.3 or 6.2, I can't remember what it was. It would be, let's see, 10%, so 6.9 maybe? Maybe that's what I was, 6.8, 6.9. Maybe. But the reason I have the Mayhem, and I have a Sims and a Fletcher, is because American destroyers are my bread and butter. Besides the North Carolina, this is me. And I'm going to attempt today to do some commentary. I'm going to give you some more history about my gaming and commentary on the fast-paced American destroyer play. So hang on. This will probably get ugly. I was telling you about Fahrenheit 451 the last time I played. Last video. That was my first experience. I have not played computer games ever since then. That did drive me to request and receive a Texas Instruments keyboard, and I don't remember the model, but it was just the keyboard computer, very basic. It did allow you to code, and it wasn't code back then, but it did allow you to create simple emoticons, and that led to further development of me wanting to play games, not code games. And I'm not gonna lie, I probably could if I put enough effort into it, but I'm not ever going to. It looks, it feels, it smells like work, so you know what? It's probably work. I have been putting off commentary in my gameplay. I have been putting off videos, recording my gameplay, because I don't want it to overshadow the reasons I'm playing games. And that's to have fun and to enjoy my time, my limited focus on games. And I'll give you a little bit of my personal life. I work for a living. I work a full-time job. I have a large family. And for the fathers out there, they'll know immediately what I'm saying. That sometimes you have to be able to narrow your focus. And if you don't, you burn out. You become unable to hold on to anything. And I guess it's like running out of RAM. Once you run out of RAM, things start falling apart. So I played Fahrenheit 451, and I played on the Texas Instrument, and I had a console, ColecoVision, and I had a Nintendo. As things progressed, the deciding factor for me, and of course we got aircraft and a Mayhem video. That's bad. Gonna burn smoke. Gonna lose my advantages in a destroyer. appear that this guy doesn't know what he's doing very well. And we have a destroyer in here with us. And there he is. And there's probably 2 destroyers because I don't think that he has the view range to spot me. And you have to be able to know these things instantly. Yeah, I came alive. I came visible without having anyone else lit up, so it was another destroyer. And then you have to start thinking about, and what I should have done at the beginning of this match was find out exactly which destroyers there were. Before I leave, I need to put some smoke in, some torpedoes into that smoke. And there we go. Stop firing, go invisible. Hopefully those bombs don't come hunt me down. And right now we have the typical B stalemate going on. We have Roy capping, and we have 2 destroyers over there, and it doesn't matter how many enemy or friendly ships there are, as long as there's 1 of each, no one's capping anything. And I don't know if any of you noticed, but you notice how the B turns into a triangle instead of a square? That tells you that it's being contested. And you can look at that when you're approaching something. There's a torpedo strike in the smoke. Eat it, buddy. And there's 2. And there's 3. Very good run. Very good run. And I've got some torpedoes. I'm going to pop smoke, get out of here, cut my losses. Hit that repair again. Uh-oh, I didn't see those. And here we go. It would appear that commentating in a Mayhem is not going to work. What we'll do is we'll get out of here. We're going on 12 minutes. I like to keep these at 30 minutes because people don't tend to listen after 20 minutes, 15 minutes, unless it's really good. And I have no delusions that I'm going to be really good at my commentating. So, what we're going to do is we're going to admire those simple little 3 torpedo hits, and they will influence the game. I don't know what I hit without looking at the end page, but we'll open it back up, see what we hit. I know I hit that ridiculous name for the Polish premium destroyer, and a Cleveland, I believe, and it may have been the Ognivoy. May have helped take him down. 26,000 damage. Not bad. Not great. I'm dead. Let's move on. Exit to port, and what we're going to do is we're going to get my Fletcher captain, and we're going to put him in the Sims and see if we can get a decent match. And the Sims, good. Really good. Really good. I like it. Most people do. Normally that means a nerf. The Luva, or the low, as Americans call it in World of Tanks, was good. So they nerfed it. But that's par for the course in World of Tanks. It's an arcade game. They have to continue with the funds being poured in, and they'll do the same to this. Nerfing the Atlanta with a radar. It's pretty rare. I'm going to tell you, Wargaming doesn't do that very often. They did it this time. I'm happy, and we'll get an Atlanta game in there hopefully. If this one turns out like the last match, then we'll be getting it in Atlanta really quick. what we'll do, we'll try to run a defensive Sims game, and I'll show you what that means. And as most of you have already seen or can tell from if you've watched any of my other views, my computer is horrible. I mean, like I said, I work full-time, I have a large family. What I get is what I get. What I can piece together is what I can piece together. And I'm bringing you all this on a computer like that. So if anyone types in there, I can't do that because my computer's too slow, I'm not buying it. And you'll notice, I noticed in my editing of the first commentary on the North Carolina that my audio was broken because of the RAM usage when it was loading a map and loading a match. So you understood what I wanted to do. I mean, it doesn't have to be flawless. This is what 99.5% of the humans that play PC games play on. They play on a PC that they've pieced together. So, you know, if you daydream about that supercard, stop. You know, daydream about playing your game on something that you put together, not something you had to borrow money to make, but something that you put together. All right, Sims game, and of course there's aircraft carriers in it. Of course, it's better to not have aircraft in a destroyer match. It's the great equalizer. And we want to be invisible. We want to be ghosts. We want to be Apache. We want to be invisible until we want you to see us. And an aircraft carrier, and I love the Saipan. I have the Lexington. The Saipan is probably the best aircraft carrier in the game. I'll show you some of that in another video. I have a little carrier porn here and on Plays TV, and I also want to talk to you about Plays TV. Plays TV is freaking awesome, and it's free, but there is a stipulation. And look at that, he would hit me right on the stop. And it was I want to get into going into reverse here so that I'll have energy to dodge the torpedoes that are inevitably coming. But I don't want to be seen. Let's see, what is that? It's a Saipan. So yes, there will be torpedoes. Saipans fly Tier 9 aircraft, which means the torpedoes are pretty quick. The way they claim to make it non-OP is to put 3 in a squadron. It doesn't matter. I mean, they give you 2 squadrons, and there they are. That's 6 torpedoes. That's just like any other aircraft carrier, but they're Tier 9 torpedoes. So, the Saipan is, when played correctly, is probably the best aircraft carrier in the game, simply because Tier 10 aircraft carriers don't get used very often. As I've said before, Tier 10 is broken. In-game is not functioning the way that it should. And I've been sitting here talking to you a little too long. I can't believe I've lived this long. There's somebody contesting because B is in a triangle, and I don't want to charge him. I don't. Well, the Fubuki's moving up, so yeah. As long as he's willing to move up, I'll move up with him. And this is not defensive. I told you we were going to be defensive, and whoever was in here with us is gone. So I would say he left the circle over here, right there. And you have to be able to the range for 9.2. Let's hold them. They're slow. That's the drawback to the Sims, is that good. I don't have to fire on him. The torpedoes are slow. Alright, let's just go gun this guy. He did not know I was here. Hence, he charged the Fubuki. And he's going to pay the price. And that's all about. That's what Destroyer play is all about. It's sneaking and popping up when you don't want to be seen. Damn, he got the Fubuki. I was trying to avoid that, and what he did was he dropped torpedoes on the Fubuki. Once he's ranging me now, so I'm going to change. He hits my engine. His engine is out, it appears. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn away from this Atlanta. Let me get some boost going. I need some energy. And since he's in smoke, I am invisible. And I've got an advantage on the Atlanta. I've already moving away and I'm faster. So what I'll do is I'll just maintain my life, my ability to fight in the future, and try to protect. Oh wow. That makes me want to go over there badly. But yeah, he's firing. It appears he's going to miss me. Nope. I am now visible. I didn't know exactly why I was visible. I'm not being... And B is a square, so we're not being contested here. What I can do... He's not going to live long enough for torpedoes to get to the Colorado. And since my team doesn't want to come help, I'm going to drop some deterrents. They're not attack torpedoes. They're not aimed at anyone. They're just widespread torpedoes to make them turn. I'm being spotted again. So we have a destroyer playing hide and seek, and it's not the Russian that was in here before. His detection range is worse than mine. And those from the Atlanta, those shells, which were AP by the way, which is strange, but those shells missed because he fired them when I wasn't visible. He had a good solution, but I disappeared, so his computer or his gameplay mechanic failed him. And they're going to take B, which is fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run blocker for my team, and which means I'm going to sit here, protect their right flank from a destroyer, or from well, from a destroyer basically. And I'm going to light him up, keep him from coming behind them, and hopefully I'm debating here on whether to go on this side of this island and get in front of my team, because no one's coming up behind, and run shield for them up there. But if I do this, I now become visible. I'm going to be lit, if not by aircraft, by the destroyer that's in here. And there he is, and it's a mayhem. So you know, we're in for a fight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save those. And I don't know why he's not firing, which suits me just fine. Don't fire. I'm going to hit those on his oh yeah, stop in that smoke. More please. Yes, yes, turn into those torpedoes like a good little destroyer. And I don't believe that that the Sims shells do as much damage or as all-inclusive as the Mayhens or the Farragut's. They're supposed to be the same guns, but I don't believe they do the same damage. And now that I have some support, not very much, because they don't seem to be wanting to move up. Use my WASD hacks there. And this is where my support, there we go. I'm not sure what that was on, but I'll take it. They're using that smoke very well. And this is called running cover in a destroyer. I'm lighting things up in front of them. I'm staying hidden. I'm in my old smoke. So what I'll do is I'll try to back up and get back into that smoke. Let's see if we can't do that there. Come on, Sims, back up, big boy. And what I did was I decided to stay in my smoke too long, which is fine. What we're going to do here, we're going to get in the smoke. We're going to hope that we don't burn to death. I don't have any torpedoes, so I'm not even going to try for a solution on that Turpits. I'm going to let the Otago duke it out a little bit. What I can do is add some fire. If I had a gun. I'm going to put that out. Oh, jeez. Can you see what I was doing there? I was trying to fire guns with the, and I loaded that AP. So you can tell it's I'm a little rusty commentating. I had a lot of opportunities there that I failed to catch because I was blabbing. And we got the kill. All right, that was a little messy, a little hectic. And rated mature as usual. 4 aircraft in a Sims means he's been sitting over on top of me for a long time, which is fine. I was going to be visible anyway. Yobuki, death to me. And this is what a CV pilot should be doing. We have no more carrier. He's probably out of torpedo planes. So he's doing what he can. Bring it. No. The Rune looks like he's just ready to die. And I don't really want to be around the Rune. He's going to be attacked by the Douglas 81s. Tier 9 torpedo planes. Nice. Nice job. Spot me all you like, buddy. Ooh. Hello. Peekaboo. Again, cheap computer. Back to what I was originally talking about. I was given a computer back in '96, and it wasn't very much. But back then, we could do what we wanted. You know, we could. The form factors weren't as many, and that you can still do it. But we could build what we wanted from what we had, and you can now to some extent. But we're going to stay in a slight turn. Yeah, he's going to drop it. And too close. What is he doing? He's AFK? Okie dokie. And that's the one that wouldn't fire on me a while ago. He did torps on me though. I guess his connection is not very good. He was on his way out, you know. It wouldn't have taken both banks of torpedoes, but that's what we're going to do anyway. Let's get some speed, some energy. It's all about getting some energy in World of Warships to evade, to catch. Anyway, I built my computer, and the first thing that I remember enjoying was Homeworld. The first Homeworld. It was awesome. Single player was unbelievable. It brought me back to the original reasons, you know, a computer taking you on an adventure. Only this adventure was in outer space, but better than that. Right. And wow, man. I commend your ability to spot me, but your torpedo dropping skills, you could still hit me. I'm not gonna say now though. Homeworld. It was awesome. Homeworld 2, Cataclysm. They've recently came out with Deserts of Karak, and I will put that on my computer and play it for you. I've already beat it twice, I think. Anyway, that was the Mayhem action there. Please, I will continue our personal story from Homeworld, and I have an extensive computer gaming background from that point. And I'll try to remember everything that I've done. And we'll also look at some games and some more ships, some tanks, whatever you want to see. If you have a game that you want to see, let me know. Nothing ridiculous. I'm not playing Farmville. Let me know. And later.